Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ASB community. This is going to be one of the first videos of a series of videos introducing you to the technology that we use here at ASB. Now, to get started, you'll see that I am on AS Barcelona's website. I have it set here, asbarcelona.com. And the reason we're visiting the website is I'm sure that you have read all about us and explored the different pages, which is a great way to get to know the school. However, there is also a teacher portal that is linked right into our website. It's called MyASB. And it's good to know that this portal is for teachers, for students, and also for families. So as soon as you click on MyASB, you will be prompted to log in. Now, I am already logged into this. However, I'm going to log out just so you can simply see how you do log in. When you click on MyASB, you just have to click on sign in with Google, which is the preferred method that we use often when logging into something is an option via Google, just to help it sync some of your username and passwords to reduce the amount of usernames and passwords that you have to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and click in sign in with Google. And since my Chrome browser is already signed in to Google, my ASB account, I didn't even have to type anything in. So let's just revisit that for a quick second, because this can really help everyone save some time. When you open Chrome, and I'm going to open an incognito window, which means that I am not signed into anything, you'll see right up here the person that is logged into this account. Now, this is incognito, so it's no one. However, when I'm in my regular browser, you can see that I have logged in and I'm syncing my Chrome browser. This means that it's going to make it much easier for you to have a feel of kind of single sign-in, okay, single logged in. So the first thing I would recommend is, as soon as you get your computer, make sure that when you open your Chrome browser, you go right up here to this little, either it will have no photo or you can add somebody, and you log in with your ASB account and your ASB password and make sure that syncing is on. All right, that will be beneficial for when you are logging in, but also when the tech department pushes different plugins to our Chrome browsers, then yours will be updated as well. So since I'm already logged into my Chrome browser with my name, I'm able to access my ASB. All right, my ASB is really just kind of a glorified bookmarks page, including all the different technology systems that we use here at ASB. I'm going to go through some of those today with you, and then I'm going to ask you to explore some of them on your own. We know the best learning comes from actually interacting with the materials, so I'm going to ask you today to write down a few that you think would be applicable to you and your job, and then to go and visit those after this tutorial. So to get started on my MyASB, right here in the top left are our Google Apps. This is just a shortcut to link you into your Google accounts, your Gmail, your Drive, all of that. We have health and safety, which right now is including some coronavirus updates. And then we have two really important communications. This is Take Note and the Lantern. Take Note is our internal staff newsletter. That gets sent out to email every week. However, since there are important information and links in those, people often like to come back and revisit the Take Note. Okay, so this might be something you want to write down. To kind of get a feel for ASB, the community, and the staff, you could actually go and read some of the past Take Notes. Now, the Lantern, similar to Take Note, is a communication systems, but this is geared towards parents. So parents get this version of the Lantern, so kind of what's happening at ASB in every division. It's also important to read the Lantern, all right, so you know what communication is happening with parents. All right, other things under communication is the middle school and high school bulletin. Those are Google Docs that get read every day to students during their homeroom. And then we have our ASB calendars, the last year and then as well this year. Just a side note, this is going to be a PDF to show you all the breaks and vacations. However, one of your later tutorials will be specifically on Google Calendars because we often use Google Calendars at our school. You'll be able to see all the days of the week, not just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but also our rotation, which is on a 6-day schedule, and our breaks. Let's move into academics. The students also have an academic section, and the teachers do as well. Now, depending on what division you are in, you may see different academic buttons. For example, Seesaw is used kinder through elementary. If you're a middle school or high school teacher, you will not see Seesaw on yours. ManageBack is an IB program. So if you are in the lower grades, you won't see that, but this is a link to ManageBack. And then everyone uses Power Teacher, which is our grade book. There are several tutorials to come to help you get acquainted with this, all right? And then we have Google Classroom, which is used from grades 3 all the way through high school. That is our main learning management system for giving and receiving work for our older students. Seesaw is the main learning management system for giving and receiving work for kindergarten all the way through 3rd grade. Then we also have turnitin.com, which helps students and teachers run their documents, their papers through to make sure that they are not violating any copyright. And then we have Cognigy, which is used with our counselors. So if you're a counselor, you might want to write that one down to explore more on, as well as talk with the other counselors about getting a quick training on that. Now we have some general resources for staff here. We have the teaching and learning page. So that is our department, which includes myself, our director of teaching and learning, Joanna, Jenny, Tracy, Marcus. That team has put together a website with important links, curriculum documentation, and the main thing people visit for this is to get the PD request form. So if you wanted to request a certain PD, you would find the form on that website. So just a quick look at this, I can see there's a professional development tab, and under that tab, there is a request and reimbursement form for you. All right, we have a virtual learning page that talks about our virtual learning resources and how we rolled things out during the pandemic that hit us last spring. Then we have Rubicon Atlas, which you've also received more information. So that might be something that you're going to be visiting later with Jenny, and that is our curriculum documentation. Our human resources tab is really important. I would say this is one that you should write down to want to go back and kind of revisit. Let me take you to a few important places there. So on the human resources tab, you'll be able to see some helpful links and resources. I found that under employment at ASB, helpful links and resources. Now, again, we're giving you the calendar, but this is what really helps a lot of people, who to go to for what. I found that quite helpful to go in and explore the different people, their different roles that might not be who you interact with every day. So of course, you're going to become very familiar with your division leader. You're going to become very familiar with the faces of the teaching and learning team. However, some faces you may not see regularly, but you'll find useful during the school year are some of our business office people. So here you can see who do you go to for what. Some of our HR people, I know you probably recognize Anna, mark it all on there. Our IT support team, some facilities, all the secretaries in the different divisions, and then of course, operational and other support teams. It's a great idea to read through this, know who we have on our team, and also start to recognize the faces. That's gonna just help you with your transition here into ASB. So do mark down the ASB HR portal. Another page I want to direct you to there is Living in Barcelona. There's a lot of resources that people have put time and energy in collecting specifically for you and your transition here. Let's navigate back to MyASB. So we have handbooks, we have the library, Destiny Discover, which is part of the library, and then we also have this Make a Request button. Make a Request is also one to really think about exploring more. Things that you might need right away. Make a supply request. We do have a bodega, a space where you can request paper and pencils, pens, things for your classroom. You can put that in through here. There are a lot of technology requests that you may need. For example, if you discover that your projector is not working when you get into your classroom, if you click on this technology button, it's going to prompt you to sign in to your account for maintenance, basically. I'm going to use Google again, so that's going to make it nice and easy for me to log in. Then I could simply add a new ticket for support. All right, so this is going to be where you kind of make your requests. This actually goes through your email And so you'll get the responses in your email, which is really great that you don't have to actually go to this portal to get the responses. So my projector's broken. You could submit this ticket and it would come back directly to your email. It's also nice to know that instead of doing that, I could write an email that said tech support at asbarcelona.com and it would actually do this whole process for you. But that is the portal for that. They are really doing a great job on streamlining that for teachers. And then, of course, there's a maintenance one as well. So this would be something that you could submit a ticket for if a desk is broken, if you need something to be cleaned or hung up in your classroom. Those are our make a request. So by now, you've probably written down HR to go back and visit and make a request. I'm going to close that up and just finish talking about the rest of these buttons. There are an ECC, ES, MSHS informational website. These are great for you to visit as well, if depending on your division, because you'll be able to see what teachers teach what. These are also outward facing. That means that our parents, our students, and other teachers have access to this in order to see the courses that are being offered. So for example, let's say information technology course, they see the teacher, they can contact his email, contact him through email, and then they also have access to the syllabus. During the first week of school, we all take some time to update our syllabus, which then updates this website. So find your division, go through, see the courses that are offered, and just like you kind of looked at who did what, you could also look at the different teachers and what they are teaching. That's a great thing to do for before you join us on campus. Let's close that out. So find your division. You might want to write that you want to visit that website. We have a parent directory, after school activities, sports, performing arts, board of trustees, the bus schedule, family handbooks, lunch menus. You can really explore that a lot of these different menus. So you can start seeing that ASB is very robust in their offering of communication. And so knowing that that is there and where to find that is going to be key. I'm going to pause for a second on web print. Printing is one of the first things that people want to do when they get on campus. And I can't actually open this because I'm not on campus. When you are on campus, you are able to print anything via Wi-Fi. You don't have to be hardwired in, and it will go into the cloud of our print server. And then depending on where you are, what device, you will use your card to scan and bring it down and release the job. So when you do get on campus and you get your device, practicing printing would be something that is quite beneficial. And just making sure that you are able to go through the printing process and get your paper copies. So as soon as you visit the technology department and get your laptop, I would go through web printing with them directly there or visit it when you are ready. Tech Tutorials is another website that actually I curate, and all my tutorials live on this page. So we do quite a few tutorials, and so if you're ever thinking, I'm not sure how to do this, especially around grading time, you can go back and visit that website. And then there are Siafo, Bamboo, event planning. I'm going to bring our attention to Bamboo for a second. This is another portal to write down to go back and revisit. This is actually our HR portal. And the most common thing that that's used for, I'm going to click on it, and then you have to log in, of course. But what this is used for is for time off requests. So there may be digital paperwork that you have to sign. And when you get that, it actually goes through Bamboo and you can digitally sign it and you'll find it in your files. But this digital request time off button is probably the most used function in Bamboo. So what this does is you can actually request your time off. So I could find, let's say that I'm going to a PD, I'm sick, I have a doctor's appointment, you're getting married, anything or reasons you need time off, go through this portal first. Then it notifies your line manager, whether that's your division leader, in my case, the director of teaching and learning, whoever you report to, they will get the requested time off and then they approve it. And then you get notified of it. So let's say I want to take off August 1st and I only want the August 1st day off. So I wrote, August to September. I don't need that much time off, not an entire month. I just need that day off. And then you can select the type of vacation. So you have vacation, medical appointment. Reading through this also kind of helps you realize what people take time off for. That information is also in our staff handbook, which I know you guys are taking time to read as well. So I'm going to say that I need something professional, but I don't see it there. So I'm just going to, if you start typing in the word, you will see it, professional development. So I'm going to be going for professional development. It's going to be 4 hours that I need to take off, or maybe it's the whole day. And then I could type visiting another school to do a job share. All right. As soon as you send the request, that goes to your line manager, your division leader, and then you'll be notified that way. So that is the most, I think, common button that you have that you'd use inside of Bamboo. What is great is that it shows you how many days you've actually taken off. All right, let's go back to MyASB. And I want to talk a little bit about this bottom row. All right, so there's a 6-day calendar generator. I'm going to hide this just really quick. A 6-day calendar, creator, MyASB YouTube, and a link generator. Those are worth exploring. All right, so the 6-day calendar, this is actually, I'm going to just go through it, because if you don't have a regular schedule, or if you have a meeting, let's say that happens on day 3. Now, day 3 at ASB does not look like every Wednesday. Day 3 looks like in our 1 to 6 schedule, wherever that day 3 falls, there might be a meeting. Now, if you're familiar with Google Calendar, you'll know that this is actually impossible to do within Google Calendar. You can repeat events every Thursday. You could repeat events every day, but you cannot repeat events for every day 3, according to ASB. As you can imagine, this is problematic. So our technology team has done this week reoccurring events creator tool. So don't add any events to this yet until you have your schedule and you know what events will be reoccurring. I say that because this is going to, sync to your calendar. You'll select an event, let's say it happens on day 3 or 4. You can select the day that it's going to start. So for example, maybe I'm going to make something from June 5th, and it's going to be done on the 11th. No, I can't even do that. Okay. And then you can do your start time, 8:35 until 8:55. All right. This is how you would be able to turn your events to actually repeat every time. I put in the times manually. However, you could do it by period. Like, I'm going to select this period instead of having to put the exact times here. And then you don't need to do a guest list, but you could. Let's say that you're in charge of a meeting. I maybe would invite all the new staff. So maybe I would add all their names here and then submit. What that does is it creates a calendar event that goes on your calendar, and if you invite a guest, it goes onto their calendar. It's good to know that once you make this, they're not the same as a Google event, reoccurring event, because in Google's, if you click on it and you say delete, you could say delete all. These are made individually. So if you did, let's say, a meeting for the entire year, and then you realize it was wrong, you have to go and manually delete those. That is why I just warn, make sure you know your schedule for these meetings that you might want to create before you enter this. A side note, if you are a middle school or high school teacher and you want to insert your teaching schedule, which you do have to do, we have another system that does it by bulk for you. We're able to export from PowerSchool and then import it into your calendar. So this is used for elementary teachers who don't have that function. And it's also used for any specialists like a librarian or a counselor, or maybe somebody who's making meetings. For example, I might be making a meeting with the tech team to recur every day 3. So please know that this is there because it saves you 1,000 hours versus manually entering meetings to recur. There's also MyASB YouTube. This is going to give you ability to create safe links for YouTube videos. For example, if you send a student to watch a video on YouTube, there's always advertisements or it promotes the next video, next video, next video. This removes that. So it's a safe YouTube playlist creator. And then there's also a link creator. So if you're familiar with like Bitly, which gives a big link and then makes it small so that people can actually find it, ASB has made their own as well. So these two are semi-new to ASB. They came out of virtual schools. So maybe you know some of those issues that started at your school because of virtual schools as well. So that was our solution to it. So I know I've gone over a lot of different information. And remember, your job was to just write down a few of those that you might be interested in revisiting on your own in a slower way. Practice logging in, practice making reading some of the information on here, maybe going through almost making a request, and just really in these tutorials is to kind of the first time you are exposed to some of this information because it's a lot of information. All right. So your job now is to probably pause this video, stop this video, you'll be done with it, and go through and explore MyASB a bit. Click on the different links that you have and see what you can navigate through reading. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this tutorial, and I will see you shortly in the next one.